Setting up and managing conditions in loan servicing soft. Okay, so I just took a loan application from a borrower, and I've got my loan here, currently set to application status, and I've got some basic details on the borrower or applicant at this stage popped into the system here. I have some basic terms. We got a loan for $1 million. We got 10% is our interest rate. Got some dates, some other details set up here. And we want to make this loan, but we can't make this loan until the borrower has satisfied some conditions. We have a list here of conditions, all of which they're currently set as pending. We have a requested date set up here. And this list of conditions, which is probably the same for almost all of your loans, those are set up here. We're going to go over into Control Panel. We're going to go to Underwriting Conditions, and we have our list here of all our default conditions. These conditions get automatically loaded into all new loans. We can go ahead and set these conditions up by hitting Add New, or we can go into an existing condition and make edits. Delete and so forth. Let's go ahead and pop one open here. We've got our title, our description. You have plenty of room here if you want to put a few sentences of description. This is going to be the default status when the conditions first load, and then is it required upon the initial load. You might have different conditions based on the different stages, right? You have submission, prior to funding, prior to docs, and so forth. You might not want all these conditions to be required the first time you generate the report. You also have a request date, and so forth. So you're going to want to come in here and kind of determine on your own, your particular company's policies on how you want to set up these different tiers of conditions, or just have one big long list of everything, and so on. So that's how you do your setup. And we're going to go back to our loan here. I've got this John Q. Smith here, and I'm going to open this loan up. And you can see here I have my conditions, all of which are pending. I went ahead and left this one off. I'm not going to include that on my current list, and that's not going to see it's not required. I don't have is required selected, and furthermore, I haven't put a request date. I'm going to hold off on that one for whatever reason. And the borrower, it just so happens I already have this condition met. Let's pretend like the borrower just called up. We had a good conversation, and he said, "Oh, I do have my pay stubs," and he went ahead and sent those over. Those are no longer pending. They're now approved or cleared, and they were cleared as of this date. And there's our list. Now let's go run the report. So I'm going to come here. Now we could have this report, as all of our reports can be hung here right on the loan object. So I could generate the report right from here if I wanted to be set up that way. I'm not. I'm going to go here to my documents. I have my underwriting conditions report set as one of my favorites, so I don't have to go look for it. I'm just going to double click. I'm going to select the loan, and here she is, and I'm going to go ahead and run the report. And here's our condition report. And you can see here, everything on this report can be customized. You have some space here for a logo. We can put your address. You can have that within the logo image if you'd like. We've got the borrower name, some basic details on the borrower, and collateral, other loan details, appraised value, and so on. And here are my list of conditions. And as you can see here, I have 3 different tiers set up: prior to documents, prior to funding, and submission. Whether or not you want to have one big long list with the different categories, or perhaps this is just the first shot here, and we want to have just the submission and not have these show up. It's entirely configurable for all of the above. and you can see here that, and this is admittedly a bit rough. I haven't really taken the time. It still has our loan servicing soft name down here, which you probably want to remove. Do you want to have this date and time stamp down here? You most likely want to put your logo, have some wording up here. Maybe there's some disclaimer, disclosure down here, all which is entirely doable within literally just a few minutes. So anyway, so there's our report. Now, once we've generated this report, we can save it as a Excel, PDF, or Word. I can do things like email it out to the, either to the borrower or to a broker, perhaps. Or I can just print it, save it as Word or PDF or whatever you want to do. So that's it. Thank you so much.